Hello. Sorry about that. Welcome to today's stream. It's Monday, so you know what that means. A brand new week and a brand new start. So we're continuing with Tales, hopefully coming to the end. Like I said, yesterday we did a stream, a level stream. Didn't last long, but we did a small level up stream. So took out some enemies. Got some weapons. Not everyone's powered up, but mostly everyone's powered up. And everything. Sorry, I just eating, so I'm a bit burpy and everything. But yeah, so we'll continuing with the story today. Like I said, I showed off Lost Judgment on yesterday. You know, got the game ready to play for after we've done this, and like I said, it won't be played until this is done. So hopefully, this should all going well might be done this week. But we'll see. We'll see how far we got. But anyway, what less talking, more playing, should we say? So let's jump straight into the game, shall we? And if you remember right, we are on our way to trying to get a ship. So, right, fast travel. And we can continue with main story.
We've reached our destination.
We've reached our destination. The destination has been reached. Cutscene.
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to...
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Danon disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegus.
Lenegus? Are you out of your damn mind?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Well, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
About that.
Thanks, Nath.
I was expecting to say about that.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that.
Okay.
But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. But there's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
We will. And we know we're heading into that direction.
All right.
I guess...
Right.
Excuse me.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one.
Oh, hoot hoot.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby.
Aww.
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How
Aw.
awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Get wrecked.
Captivity!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
That we do.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Nah, I'm good.
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
Oh wow, look at that fire. Beautiful fire. It is the mines we've got to go to, isn't it?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So here we go.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
And we're back to where it all began. Can't believe we're back here of all places. Oh, no. Wrong turn.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law.
Dink. Welcome to the inside of Monster Hunter World. So I'm gonna get some flame stones. Because if I do, yay! We can power up our weapons. We'll find out.
Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast.
to fight some
Let's see
monsters.
what you've got.
Not today!
Don't mind if I do. It's a duel of the arts. Sweet dreams.
You fight better at a distance.
Now, the further away, the better.
Like, you guys are weak.
No further!
Sleep now.
Oh, yes.
Watch and weep. The flip magic is
Rain
out.
slash!
Feel.
Dragon form! Rising wyvern!
Bloody.
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Okay, what's up this way then?
Huh.
Oh, okay. Oh, he can use his ability to...
You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much. Much?
Coming through.
Regardless if that's...
I never miss.
Who's what a type of idiot he is.
Flame inside me, yours will be let free!
Flawless flight.
Blow away! You're mine! You got flyers!
I've got this.
That was my fault for not dodging these.
All yours!
But he's wrecked now.
In here.
Get away! Oh, you shield.
Form! You picked the wrong fight!
Dragon form. Not on my watch. You get the gist.
Be still!
You get the gist.
Elusive deity!
A chain between lunar corruption.
Get wrecked.
A chain between heaven and
Dragon
earth.
form!
A wailing now.
Chill!
This ends
Finish
now.
him off.
Consider yourself finished! With your
I'd love to
flames
know
and
it.
my technique,
We're stronger together than we are apart.
right, here goes! Rain
Take
blast!
this!
They're surrounding
I
us.
can carve through armor!
Far enough. We
You're mine.
Her hide is thick as armor. Gemini Aqua.
Ah,
Freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
All bats in their defenses!
Glad you have your uses.
Rising wyvern!
Glacial spear.
I'll show you how useful I can be!
burn.
Ha! Now!
I always do that one. I can't do the other one.
Scarlet Inferno!
Shine! Radiant light! The enemy wields arts too.
You
We'll
picked the
soon
wrong
see about
fight!
that.
Take this!
Is that a healing art?
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Here I come.
And I keep getting knocked to the ground like an idiot.
I'll smash you!
Hear me. Flame of fury.
I'm ready!
Shining astral energy.
Say no more! Got it!
Well done. Hear me. Flame of fury. Can't be
Glacial
stopped.
spear.
Reflect on thy
Rising
state.
wyvern!
Death might with blackened blade! That extra training paid off.
My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
And she's gonna drink the entire thing.
You want some too, Sion?
Hi, Hoodle. I never miss. I'm not done! Reload! Far enough! You have to aim for the bright area on their back!
We knew.
Aim for the weak spot.
Eagle Dragon Swarm! Supernova! Free! Raging Cascade!
Away! Tempest!
Now!
And you're dead.
Now!
Consider yourself finished.
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Money! Yay! I put it down.
Right, here goes. Take this. Eat dirt. Rending you apart. Try harder. Now, you're mine.
If it curls up, time to get out of the way.
Ah, I dived into that like an idiot.
Scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for you, Kisara.
Here I come.
Now!
Thanks, Chia.
Be careful.
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Astral energy.
Well done!
Raining slash.
Lightning Orb!
Coming through.
Mystic Arts.
Now,
Same move I always do.
Scarlet Inferno.
Hear me!
I'll face you.
Burning Strike!
It's always too strong.
Split it open.
Be my guest.
And it's dead.
I'll take you all on.
Leave the enemy's arms to me!
Lunar Rondo.
No complaints here. In a bind.
Leave the chargers to me.
Raging
Here
Storm!
I come. Kisara.
And you're dead.
Commander of Heavens.
Phoenix Cyclone.
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not that relaxed.
We can go back that way now.
Let's see what you've got.
I never miss!
Burn to the ground!
Raging Cascade!
Are those rocks in
Between heaven and earth! Here, let me help! A wailing dancing
no armor?
Stop me!
Remind me to stay on your good
A
side.
charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Where are you going?
Negative thing.
Shining Supernova! I'll heal you all! Confiscated! Here, let me help!
Not today.
Ouch.
Came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword, and with my thorns.
I owe you so much, Rinwell.
Maybe my arcs do have a place in this world.
Sure, there's tons you can do.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Radiant light. Blow away. I can't take
Go.
It's over.
Illuminate weaken!
It's time to finish this!
Sinon is going to go nuts.
Consuming wildfire!
Here I come.
Take this. I'm ready. Shion.
Get toasty!
Bird strike.
I'll lead you on!
Not a chance.
In here!
Heal.
Thanks.
Heal
Ready?
and together!
Take this.
I'm grateful.
The flame inside me yearns to be let
Can you
free.
take it?
Into the
Eternal
shadows!
devastation.
Searing flame!
Dragon
Release
Swarm!
your storm! Hear me!
Raining
Flame of
stick!
steel! Burning
Take this.
Glacial spear!
I'm not done.
Raging
Dragon
Cascade!
Swarm. You picked the wrong fight.
Not on my watch!
This one's mine!
Take this.
Anything in armor is all mine. I'll grind you into carve through armor.
Lightning orbs!
It's over.
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Okay.
This
Oh,
looks
I'm
nice
so-
and tough.
Get lost!
Dragon form!
Illuminate the dark! It's holy glimmer! Holy
Resonate with the earth. Take this.
Blow away!
Can't
Get
out of
wet!
this.
Whirling beauty of lightning!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Elusive deity.
Freeze
Nothing
laser!
pile driver.
Sealed!
Far enough.
More for the
Here I
sky!
come!
Radiant light.
Dragon
Force
form!
of regeneration. Regenerate.
Raining slash!
Lunar pollution!
Shattering up!
I'm in your debt, Goku. Then tonight's meal is on you. What to make?
Radiant light! Sealed!
Dragon form!
I'll be saving you
Be
today!
still!
Flame of fury! Tempest whirl!
Eternal
Here's
devastation!
your time!
Do it!
Next!
As impressive as
Try
always.
harder!
And here I hope that was complete.
No, I mean, you're even better.
Coming
Burn!
through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
And he's dead.
This is the power of the blazing sword! An opponent like this should be easy.
Illuminate your dreams!
Take this! Begin!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Go.
Rending you
I'll
armor
be
won't
saving this
save
one.
you.
Bronze and red! Illuminate the dark!
Critical.
Where are you going? I can do this all day!
Amazing.
Let's break it.
Ends now!
Consider yourself
And it's
finished.
dead.
I can feel my precision improving.
Gold, gold, glorious gold. Got all of the gold. Let's carry on this way. Just up here.
Let's see what you've got.
I can handle it!
Ignite!
Burn.
Mega ray!
No further.
Dragon
Here
form!
goes! Raging cascade!
Here I come!
In here!
Begin.
Do it!
Next!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was
Stay calm.
No,
I shall provide
I mean,
assistance.
you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Sion actually look
save you.
flustered. Freeze laser!
Stalagmite.
It's over!
Rending you
Chain
apart.
between heaven
I'm
and earth.
curious to see the
You were going direct?
I'm not nearly
I hope we'll find out
Provide
soon.
assistance however I can.
This time! No escape!
This will come in handy.
Dragon
Into the
form!
shadows!
Get wet.
I can feel my power growing!
Go. Ow.
Come and face me!
Glacial
Dragon
spear!
form! Ah! Burn in hell!
Negative gate.
Dragon form!
They
I'll be
smite
saving
with
you
Raining
from your
slash!
dreams!
Here I come!
Magic in hand! First
The flashing part's their weak
Dragon
point!
form!
And you're dead.
Annihilation!
Ready to go!
Flame of fury!
Far enough!
And so are you.
Mine! Tempest whirl! Freeze
I
laser!
can carve through armor. No further.
Get wet.
This one's mine! Raging cascade!
I'm ready.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Benediction light.
My turn!
Got you!
I'm ready.
Allow me to help!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Yay.
Tempest! Take this!
Lunar corruption! Burning!
This could be useful.
Guess I misread the landing.
Little help!
Pieces! Attack time!
Rending you apart!
It's over!
Dragon swarm!
Bloody howling!
Chinese supernova! Raging cascade!
Negative gate!
I'm only getting started! Gemini Aqua! Lightning condemned! Magna Ray! Thunder Blade! Illuminate the sun!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Holy
This
War!
one's all mine.
Between heaven and earth!
I'm not done!
A wailing banshee of light! Field!
I can handle it.
Negative gate! I can carve through
Will
armor!
this help?
You're mine!
Oh, spark confiscated! Healing circle!
Resonate with the earth!
No escape! This one's all mine!
Searing flame! You're really strong, Alvin!
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
It's reassuring to have you around.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improving.
No, I mean, you're even better
And
than
you
ever.
did.
I've never seen Shion actually look flustered. Field!
Can you take it? Does it hurt?
Where are you
Nice.
Here I come!
Frozen hammer.
I'm ready! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done! Radiant fire! Shattering pieces! Do it! Heaven and earth! Kisara, frozen!
Hammer!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
We can do rocks
Exactly.
as well.
So don't try anything funny. Especially you, Law.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Doreen.
Okay, so that's a
I would have
short
figured
cut.
rocks and plants would be too different. For you to handle both.
Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Further into the cave of hell we go. Boss fight! What is this glowing light here? Oh wait, boss fight. Boss fight! You're all going to die down here! And the mystery monster is... Da 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 da! We meet again! Yep.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the
Oh,
purpose of the
boys.
wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into
What?
town, it's going to cause chaos.
What we
We need
supposed
to
to
take
be
it
hitting?
down and move on. Let's go!
What is it we supposed to be hitting, guys?
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone.
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so
What
ridiculous.
the hell, man?
Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle?
You
Take care of
son
them
of
while
a
keeping an
bees.
eye on it.
Eat dirt!
I may have bit off more than I could chew. Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Raging Cascade!
I'll take you all off!
Can't get out of this!
Freeze laser! Get on in there with the others! Marksman!
Charge like that could be easily fatal. Instant death.
Handle this! Holy Glimmer! Holy Land! I never miss!
Dragon Swarm!
Armor won't save you!
Heal!
Lunar Corruption! Gemini Aqua! Divine Speed! Blah, blah,
Charge
blah,
like that
air,
could easily be fatal.
Just as well. I'm here to stop it.
Far enough! Will this help?
Really gotta be careful not to get. What?
Raging Cascade! Glacial
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Right.
Freeze laser! Holy Glimmer! Holy Land!
Force of regeneration! Rising Regenerate!
Pieces!
Why the fact we haven't done any damage to the boss yet?
She is strong. She can handle herself.
You can be really dense, Helene. Don't mind if I do.
Raining Slash!
Now we're not.
No escape!
Take this!
Dragon Swarm! I'm not done!
A thrilling performance.
Light Astral Energy dance to the
Demon
wind.
Blast! It's over!
Seal.
Begin!
More for
Tornado
the
Drive!
Gotta hold it.
Ah.
Your job. Reload.
Here I come!
Let me have this.
Dragon
Okay, we've almost killed one.
Shine! Radiant Light! Force of regeneration! Another incantation ruined!
Denied. What would I do
The
without
flame inside me!
Thank you.
That's one dead.
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on.
Eat dirt!
Holy Land.
Take it!
Hearts require complete focus. There you go. Don't let up. Let me help.
Here I come!
First aid. Thanks so much.
Catapult!
Crossblade.
Radiant Blast!
Dance to the wind.
Dragon
Do
Swarm!
it.
Kisara! Commander of Heavens! Phoenix Cyclone!
Do it! Do it with fire!
Take this!
Sleep now. More for the stockpile.
Elusive deity!
Gravitas field.
Blow
Our
away.
expert
Soaring
coming through.
blast! Tornado Drive!
Flames.
Dragon Swarm!
Hear me. It looks like you got this one covered. Glacial Spear.
You see what I can do?
That's two dead.
Dragon Swarm!
We have to do some damage to big boys.
Let's go.
Burn!
I can handle it.
That's the question.
Dragon Swarm!
Denied. Got it. Glacial. Now's our chance.
Raining Blast!
Raging Cascade.
Raining Blast!
Now.
Chill!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Ah! Ha 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 ha!
Primed and ready.
The earth.
Here come more.
But do we have to just keep fighting monsters until?
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that.
You're mine!
Take this!
Holy Land. Here's a healing art. I'll heal you all.
Armor won't save you!
Ah!
I'm ready!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
They're all coming after me.
Oh, I healed myself. You saw that. You saw me heal myself.
Eat dirt!
Rending you!
Idea lightning.
Bloody howling! Try harder!
Sleep now.
Now that's too much.
Hold on to your art.
Forgive me.
Here
That is my fault.
lightning. Don't mind if I do.
Take this!
Right, that's dead.
Far enough.
Dragon Primed and Execution!
Where are you going? Can't this
Resonate with the earth!
Dragon Swarm!
Now. Into the fray.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I would start attacking the weak ones first.
Reinforcements incoming.
Not a problem. Not on my watch. Art expert coming through.
Now you see what I can do!
Raging Cascade.
Regenerate.
Radiant.
Don't suffer. Silence. You require a hand.
Whoa.
Sorry.
I didn't want to put you out.
What are friends for if we can't depend on one another?
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Ah,
Well done!
You're mine.
Radiant blood here!
Blew away.
Dance in the wind!
Leave the charges to me!
A chain between heaven and earth!
Try harder.
someone heal.
Banshee of lightning!
We did it.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
Fine, if no one's gonna heal her, I'll do it
I've
myself.
never seen Xion actually look flustered.
You picked the wrong fight.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer!
Allow me to help you.
Holy glitter! Aqua! Too much annihilation!
Amazing.
I gotta admit, this fight's a bit. Ugh. So I have no idea if what we do. We haven't done any damage.
Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah, you too. Holy land!
Now we're not.
Here's a healing
No
arc!
further.
First aid!
Blew away. Deity. Dragon form. You'll pay for that.
Glacial spear. Pierce evil.
Take this.
Better. Freeze
Right.
laser.
Rising
Air thrust. A chain between heaven and earth.
you see what I can do.
A wailing banshee of not on my watch.
now while it's reeling.
Take it down.
Dragon form.
Far enough.
Yeah, you use that.
My astral illuminate. Astral energy.
Say no more.
Shine, radiant light, force of regeneration, regenerate.
It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone.
Mine.
So, what are we supposed to be doing?
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you
Okay.
do. Just please stay safe. Here, let me help.
How are we supposed
That boss. Okay.
to take on
This-
something so
what?
big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and learn. That's enough.
That made no sense at all. So Alvin basically just one hit into the bugger.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or
Yeah.
maybe part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light,
Wait,
we must have
nice.
prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
Secret key. We just unlocked secret key.
I can feel my precision improving.
Makes it healthy. I've picked up some framestones. But we can check, can't we? Like it. The woman in red. Oh, we did. We picked up a few. Nice.
Hey, is that it over there?
That's it. Everyone's got their best weapons so far. That's it. Everyone's got some really tough gear on. Let's save it. And here we go. Another cutscene. The spaceship.
Have you guys...
This is it. The ship that brought you here, my friend.
checked your equipment lately?
Yeah. This is where I parked my car.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Present.
3 centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alvin.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of
Alvin,
history on
you
your
might want to check
shoulders.
this.
You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long.
Okay.
I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Last campfire.
It's funny, isn't it?
What
Alright, I'll
is?
be right back. Just get some more drink.
Oh.
And I'm back.
Now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken. And this is no picnic for me either.
Sorry, hiccup there.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and
Yep.
Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns.
Spit it out, maiden.
Shion?
Well, that's got to be the weirdest way for everyone to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, the ship was gone then.
Where?
She's right there. Can't you
Shion?
see her? She's right there.
Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own?
Okay, it's good.
Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why?
The hell?
You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Yawn.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
Go ahead and shoot me.
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again.
You can't.
Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
That's the time you guys got here. I've been dead on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child.
I don't
After
think she's
that,
immortal.
no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time
You seem to do that a
not.
lot in the freaking the
They're
party,
part of
though.
me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then
Wow.
what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to
And now
fight
she
with
doesn't
us,
wanna die.
isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die.
Aww.
But I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Wow.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this.
Why not?
Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else too?
Shion, what do you want?
Me too.
It's your decision ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys.
I hope I don't get
And I, for
copyright
one,
strike
don't
for
believe
this.
This venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances,
This
it
part
seems very
might
likely
be
that those events
muted
have
on
some connection
Twitch.
to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I
But
take it you
again-
mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it.
You're
I've
not
already
alone.
lost everything I had once. And I won't
You're
let
not
it
in this
happen again.
alone. At all.
Shion,
We're in this together. We're my family.
no matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you.
Yep, we're stubborn.
All of us are. You are not alone.
Aww. Look at that. We're in family.
You guys.
Quickly end the song before we get copyrighted.
Thank you, everyone.
Aww.
For right now. And a little while longer. I just want to hold on to this dream. And most
Let's
of all,
do it.
more than anything else, I
Well,
want to be with
this
all
bit
of
might
you.
actually be completely mute after today.
So
I do
let's go.
apologise in advance if that does happen.
On to Lenegis.
Talk to the other party members.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
Right.
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams. But a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it. Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close.
It is sad.
I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Oh.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her, no matter what.
Yeah, with all
You'd
of us
be happy.
together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living
Time to
have
talk
enough
to the main
problems to
lady.
deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is.
Nope.
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
Regina, what a story
But then
tonight.
I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Aw.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in
Members
Calabria?
who left and up.
There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah,
Save
I
it.
think you may be right about that.
And here we go.
Everyone well rested? Then let's
Take
go.
off.
We do
Take off, Captain. Activate the warp drive.
Depart for Lenegus.
Rocking the boats.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as
Yep.
any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay,
Let's do
people.
it.
We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegus and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone.
Road saving
And
time.
then we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns
Captain,
and find a way to save her.
Welcome to your
Sound
flight. Please sit down and enjoy the popcorn. No backseating.
All right. And let's
And
go.
remember to fasten your seatbelts. By the way, I have no idea what I'm doing, so we're about to crash land. Enjoy. Ah!
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a
Yep.
living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
Right, we gotta talk to everyone.
In that case,
Again.
she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Okay.
Different. Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
I was gonna say, blah.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it
He was
is.
putting one.
It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? Would that mean you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there,
Let's see the
I'm
couple.
through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after
Aw.
all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology.
Oh.
It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Aww.
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
How did she get to Dana then? That's what I'm wondering.
We'll be going to Lennox
Alphen
soon.
got on the ship.
This must feel
How
like a
did she
homecoming
get
of
there?
sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves.
Yep.
That doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Xion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off.
Here we
We
go.
have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address.
Okay.
Come back and speak to me when you finish looking
finish
around
this.
the ship. Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegus.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegus was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Meanwhile-
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegus?
I would wager so. Lenegus is too deeply involved in
We
all
are
this to
here.
discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelagian.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's
here
got
we
a
go.
lot to answer for. Just
Lenegus.
as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here.
Probably not.
I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegus's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Oh, well.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegus would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renus Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renus Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renus Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less.
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles
What?
take care
So
of most of the
lots of
city's basic
cutscenes
functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh?
Cutscene.
Sounds like we
Cutscene.
can't afford to
Yep.
let our guard down after all.
Okay, what happened to Meganus?
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim. Don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay,
Aww.
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we could ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion.
Oh, for God's sake, more
We can't have a
talking.
bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our head...
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their end
More
game
talking.
is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily,
No,
yes.
it's true.
You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Yay, no more talking.
Not at all. Sometimes
next
it
2
takes
seconds.
an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion.
Ew.
I'm sure we will.
Damn it.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
I don't
Sorry to
think she's a
interrupt,
person.
but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly
What's
status?
the guy up here first?
Our lot in life is
Lecture?
of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegus mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit? The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
More talking!
Then it's decided.
There's too much talking!
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it. I didn't realize Renin oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation
Wow.
are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a
Oh
sudden?
dear.
I can barely understand a word
I
they're
hope
saying.
you
And
finally
what's
to
with the
take the
weird
blame for
poses?
this one.
Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Right, we'll do this bit and then we'll call it.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
Side quest.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis.
Right.
And
As I
luckily
said,
for us,
we'll
the
save it
people
there.
here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means
And
they
now
should
be
be more
tonight.
inclined to talk to us.
So, lots of talking, lots of storytelling. Like I said, lots of information at once today. So we got to save Sinon from the thorns that's going to destroy the world, and we've also got to save everything else. So it's going to be very interesting what happens next. I think we're coming to the close of the big finale because we're not their own planet now, kind of thing. But we'll see. I do think we still got long far to go and everything, but we'll see on Wednesday. So Wednesday will be the next time we play this, and like I said, hopefully there'll be talking, but less of it and more action next time. So I do apologise that this has been a heavy talking, but if you play a JRPG, you kind of expect this kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and until then, I'll see you on Wednesday. So see ya.